Oh, hey everybody. I used to make fun of people who did videos like this. Now I'm doing it because this is so cool. I'm in love with this microphone. It's pretty cool. I'm not actually doing anything, but I was trying to record some of this for possibly using it in a podcast. But I don't know what I'm doing, and so I'm just gonna carry on because it's making this weird ticky sound. Whoop, sorry about that. Okay, so the video I want to do for you today is a video about trying. I've heard a lot of people. I've been off Facebook for about a week now, checking in only for you guys, and I'm noticing this back and forth energy. While we have the yucky energy, we also have the back and forth energy of what's right and what's wrong, what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing, and this whole just pile of slime that is just hanging around with everything that's going on. And you know all this stuff. You know what I'm going to say to you because it's you have all of this wisdom inside of you already, and you have intuition. Everyone has intuition. Everyone has a gut. Everyone has inner knowing. Everyone has a superpower, like I talk about in my book, right? You all have that inside of you, and you know what I'm going to say to you. You know this because if I have this wisdom inside of me as well, that means you have it inside of you, and it just takes a little more digging or a little bit more time for you to remember this. So the energy of trying, if you say, I'm really, really trying, I'm trying really hard to create something, I'm trying really hard to be happy, I'm trying really hard to feel my feelings, I'm trying. That word trying, I don't know if you've ever heard this before, but the energy of trying has kind of a yucky energy to it, right? Underneath, if you break apart the layers of the word trying, what you get is like not enough. Because if you weren't trying, you'd already be where you wanted to be, right? It has a lack energy to it. It has like, I'm not good enough. Because if I already was where I wanted to be or where I think I should be, I wouldn't have to try to get there. It's like an attempt. It's like a forcing energy. So trying has the energy of force behind it. And as you all know, or maybe you're not aware yet, is that the whole point of, a big point of all of what is being undone right now is no more have tos, right? Like it was always about, I have to go here, I have to go there, I have to get the groceries done, I have to take the kids to dance, I gotta have to. Right? And right now it's about, what do you want to do? What do I want to do? And when you're in the energy of feeling about or discovering what it is I always wanted to do, there will be no trying energy in there, because it's an exciting thing. It's I get to do the things I've always wanted to do. On the flip side of that, though, is like, if you're trying to do the things you've always wanted to do, that is not a flowy, aligned energy either, right? Because if you were in the energy of flow and creation, it would just naturally flow through you. You wouldn't have to try to create something. Because I notice if I try to write a new book and I'm forcing it, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be flowy. It's not going to be creative. It won't be expansive. It'll just be because I feel like I should be writing this book. Do you know what I mean? So instead of trying, because when you also say, I'm trying to be happy, I'm trying, that is also in the energy of like guilt. Guilt also comes through, because especially if you're on social media all the time and you're comparing yourself to other people who are creating, like, let's use the example that I'm creating a podcast, and I'm creating a website. I have created a website, right? These weren't things that I forced myself to do. I didn't try to create a podcast. I didn't try. I wasn't in that energy. I was in the energy of allowing. So by taking a step back and removing things that were blocking me and made me feel yucky and sick to my stomach. And that pullback actually put me on a whole new foundation, and almost like a catapult kind of thing. Like if you think of medieval times, it put me in a catapult. Before, I was always pushing the catapult around. Like, what do I gotta do? What do I gotta do? But instead, I took a step back, and now it put me in a trajectory. Automatically, naturally, I didn't have to try to get in a trajectory. I didn't have to try to get in the catapult to launch me to what I wanted to do, to get in that energy of expansion and finally doing what I said I was going to do, right? So it has to be an allowing energy. It has to be in a flowy energy. It has to be in a want to, an expansive energy. It has to be in comes from a quiet energy, right? Trying is loud. Trying is like, I'm gonna bang some stuff around. I gotta try. I gotta bang these pots and pans. I gotta try to get myself in a good mood. Trying is loud. It's loud too, right? It's like, oh, my ears hurt from trying all the time, and it's exhausting to try. It's actually exhausting to the energy. It takes effort. It takes digging. It takes strength it creates like an effort. It's effort, right? And all of these feelings, all of these energies behind trying are detrimental to your well-being. They are not I know I say this word a lot, but it's not in alignment with who you are. And what's happening right now is you're being invited, if you choose to be who you are, right? And not trying to be someone else, not trying to put on a brave face. And that's all being undone. So that's why you have pain when you try, plus all these other reasons. So going back to shifting that energy from trying and making yourself do things because you feel like you should, that's old story, that's old paradigm. That doesn't fit in this new one, right? So that's why there's even extra pain there and extra guilt and extra feelings of unworthiness. But it's all coming up for you to look at and say, does this work for me anymore? No. So me personally taking a step back allowed my creation to grow, right? So maybe you're still distracted a lot. Maybe you're still keeping up with everyone else. Maybe you're still worried about what that person thinks and how many likes do I get. And as soon as I let go of that, the creation started flowing. It just opened this gate. It opened this floodgate for me. And it isn't like I have a list of things that I wanted to do. And the podcast was the first one that really lit me up. Me writing a new book still does not light me up. It doesn't. So I'm not going to try to make myself write this book. I'm going to just focus on the things that are flowy and fun and joyful and exciting for me. And when I want to do it, I'm not going to try to make myself, like right now, I was trying to record this for you, and it was making a weird noise, and it looked cool, but it's not working out. And so I was trying to do something that wasn't in flow, right? And so the energy of trying is just like, instead of trying, I'm like, you saw me be like, okay, whatever, just go with it. I'm surrendering this. I'm just going to go with the flow. I am the flow, right? So with this having to do with creation and creating things, I'm noticing that half of the Academy is creating and half is not, but that's not true either. So if you think about it, if you really tune in, if you are one of the members who feel they are unable to create, and ask yourself, what does even creation look like? What does that even look like? Does it have to look like a podcast? Does it have to look like a website? Does it have to look like making candles? Does it have to look like this? You're your own entity. You're your own space, right? Creation, we're always creating. We're creating new thoughts. We're creating ideas. We're creating emotions. We're creating meals. We're always creating. But ask yourself, what does creation look like for me? And then that will take the pressure off of you, and maybe there will be your catapult into your leaning back into it, and maybe you'll be like, creation can be anything. Literally, it can be anything. It can be a mantra that you make up in your head. It can be a new routine that you do, a new belief that you have. That's creation too. And say, does my creativity have to look like someone else's tangible material thing? And the people who are creating tangible material beautiful things are just in a different energy state than you. They're probably not in the energy of trying. They're probably in the energy of like, yes, I finally get to do that. But that's not wrong. It's not bad that you don't feel that way, right? So it's all about giving you permission to not try. Giving yourself permission to be quiet. And you know, my best advice would be, if you are quote unquote stuck, but you're not stuck, I don't like that word, is to just sit and with your eyes closed and just breathe, right? That's what we need more than ever. And even if you do that, that would be, you're creating a space for yourself where you can feel good again, where you can feel like you're part of the energy, like you're part of the universe. And that's a creation as well. Okay, so give yourself permission to stop trying. And then when you're sitting there or you go for a walk, you might get this really cool feeling come over you, like an idea or an inspired action that, you know, you're like, okay, now I feel a little bit lighter. So now there's a little bit room in there for me to shift things just a little bit. I'm still not going to go make a website, but maybe I'm going to research, how do I make a website? That's still a creation. You're creating the momentum, right? So just reframe what creation looks like. And then that will unstick you from what you think you're not creating, right? And comparison also is a low energy, right? It's right there with trying. We don't need to try. If you listen to Abraham Hicks, she says she meditates and she waits until the feeling of, I still remember the story she talked about moving furniture around. She didn't want to do anything and she just sat in meditation, and then she had this overwhelming feeling to change the furniture around, and then that led to calling someone, and then that led to someone coming and fixing something that she couldn't fix herself because her husband wasn't around. And it's practicing more of that, practicing more of, you know, the energy of waiting. There's no hurry here now, right? I don't have a deadline to do this podcast. I want to create these podcasts, right? So I'm excited to get my messages and my words out in a different format. So just be mindful and just remember that the energy of trying is forcing, and creation can look like anything. So try to reframe that. All right? Bye.